Hey, how's it going? It's Jack Osborne. You are listening to The Diary of a Madman with Dan and Josh.
Welcome to another episode of Diary of the Madman, the ultimate Ozzy Osbourne podcast where we geek out about all things Ozzy and all things Ozzy related. I am Josh Crum and he is Mr. Dan Drago. How's it going, Dan?
Doing awesome. I cannot wait for today, man. Doing great.
So let's get right into it. Tell the listeners who we have with us today.
So we have the man, Mr. Deen Castronovo, and his son, Kyle Castronovo, on him today. And as everyone who is a big fan of Ozzy knows, Deen played on Josh and I's favorite record, Osmosis, and was with Ozzy for a couple of years. We got so much to talk about today. But before we jump into the Ozzy talk, I want to talk about Deen's whole career because, to be honest, Deen, I've been a fan of yours since, you ready? Maximum Security, Tony McAlpine, man.
Dude,
That's
great.
how I first knew your name. And when I heard you joined Ozzy, I was like, holy shit, Deen Castronovo's joining Ozzy? That blew me away.
Dude, it blew me away. I mean, those guys, those records, Mike Varney and that era, for me as a player, was so monumental because I was just budding and I had tons of energy and, as you can probably tell. And I just fly, man. Tony would say, well, what do you hear here? And I do something, that's perfect. And I got to play with the greatest shredding guitarists on this planet. I'm so humbled by it, man. Humble. You got McAlpine, you got, Marty Friedman, Jason Becker, you got, James Murphy. I mean, I was so like Joey Tafoya. Yeah, dude, I was so fortunate. So fortunate.
Yeah, I can't believe you were on Cacophony, too. Vinnie Moore you played with, too, right?
Yeah, dude. I mean, the cacophony thing, that was weird, man, because I played on the record, but I don't remember the drummer that they had in the picture. I forget his name. But yeah, I was like, you should have my picture. They had to, Photoshop me in, but it was great. What a great record playing with those guys. My God.
Yeah, I mean, Jason Becker was a whole.
Yeah.
I mean, Marty's great too, but Jason Becker was a whole nother level back in the '80s.
Yep.
Holy,
He was, bro. And what a funny guy, dude. That guy still is hilarious. I mean, he'll keep you in stitches, I have so many memories of him when I was playing guitar, or he was playing guitar, and he was actually having me do something on the Cacophony record, which was a solo, like, I don't know if you remember that one. I can't speak guitar, but
Right.
he was like, can you play that on the drums? I'm like, yeah, no. Like, are you kidding? Do you hear that, bro? Are you kidding? So he said, okay, I'll just make it a solo, please, and then added 3 guitars on top of it. It's like, oh, yeah, leave it alone. That's perfect.
That's so great.
Yeah,
So,
great stuff.
so we also have Kyle Castronovo on. Kyle, I know you've played with Wednesday 13, and talk a
Yep.
little bit about your musical background.
That's about it, man.
It's more than I've done, I'll tell you right now.
Just mainly gearing towards songwriting and stuff like that lately. But I was with Wednesday for about 5 years and actually got to play the last Ozfest that was in 2018 and New Year's. You were there too, Pot. But
I was there, and he was killing it, man. No, the whole band
that
was
was
great.
fun.
I mean, yeah, fantastic play.
Love
It
those
makes you
guys.
cry. It makes you cry. Well, you got to say too, you also played Tampa on your bachelor party. I think it was. You played in front of
That's
what,
right.
25,000 people. He played separate ways with Journey, and it made me cry. Oh yeah,
Very
I cried
cool.
my eyes out, man.
Is there,
Oh yeah, all of
Is there footage of that on
Yeah, it
YouTube
was-
or anything, Kyle? I'd like to
There is, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, dude. I mean, he had my setup, and he's not used to my setup. So, a lot of the cymbals were, where I crashed would be for him was my China. So he was just like, bam, crack. He was beating
That's
him
all I
down.
could reach, dude. You got
I know, my
long
arms were
arms.
but it was amazing. And to see the look on Neil and Ross's face, because they knew Kyle when he was just a pumpkin, he was just a little guy. And to see him come out, and they had their shit-eating grins, man. They were just like, oh my God.
That was a lot of
This is
fun.
amazing. Because there was no rehearsal. It was just like, go up and do it.
Yeah,
And he went up and he did it. It was unbelievable.
unbelievable.
It's amazing.
Such
It's
a-
amazing that you play with Journey still to this day, Dean. I mean, what an iconic band. And
Oh.
I mean, Neil and Jonathan, and what a great, great band,
Dude.
Journey is. I mean, think about all the hit songs. I mean, you play them every night, but I mean, they're one of the most iconic American bands in history.
Period. Yeah.
Oh, dude, I can't think of another American rock band, maybe next to Aerosmith or Kiss, that have had the longevity that we've had. Bon Jovi a little bit,
Right.
but I don't know if they're as big in the States as they are in Europe. I'm not sure. But definitely Journey, man. When we started, dude, when I joined the band and Steve had left, we were playing to 500 people a night. No kidding. Nobody would show up because like, oh, this is gonna suck without Steve Smith and Steve Perry. This isn't gonna be Journey. We had to re-educate, dude. It took us till 2000, maybe 2000, 2001. So 2 years of solid touring theaters with nobody in them to do In the Sheds. And then we saw and John even said, John Kane was like, dude, we got to re-educate the fans. They don't know who we are. They remember us from the 80s, but they don't even know.
Yeah.
They don't know us. So we had to. It took us about really 5 years to get where we were just like a freight train, just rolling. And to have that kind of longevity, dude, it doesn't happen. We're so fortunate. This band is
I
blessed.
think when Arnell joined the group also, on top of his amazing story, which everyone loved, if you're a human, that's such a great story. But then you all put out Revelation. And that album was so fucking good, man. That album was
Well,
so
thank you,
good.
bro.
Never
I
Walk
appreciate that,
Away,
man.
Faith in the Heartland. Those are if you like Journey, that
Great
shit's as
song.
good as anything. I mean,
Dude, and I agree with you totally, bro. And we just didn't get that, at that time, and you guys know this because you're, younger and stuff, but, that kind of stuff was done. Record sales were gone, CD sales. It was all about streaming and doing all this stuff. So, it wasn't a big seller, but it actually went platinum, believe it or not. So to have that record, and Arnell, dude, no, you are right. That guy brought us back to life.
I think so.
We had great singers in the past, but when he came in, dude, it was like a fire was lit under our asses.
Yeah.
And we had a purpose. And it was all for one and one for all. And we flew, man. With him, we flew, and we still are today.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you
For
something
sure.
else a
Selling
lot of
out
people may
everywhere.
not realize is the voice you have. I've always been impressed.
Oh,
yeah.
Shit. Dean can
Dude,
throw
I
down.
got rooked into that. Oh, dude, thank you, man. I got rooked into that. It was actually Steve Augeri had some rough issues. He killed it for about 6 years straight. They started having voice problems. So what they did was like, okay, Dean, you got to sing these songs, the three hits, because Steve's having a rough time. But he was perfect, throughout the entire 6 years he was with us. Just that 1 year with Def Leppard, things started kind of dwindling. It was just hard for him, And that was because in 2005 we did a 4-hour show basically, and we killed him. We killed Steve. Yeah, it was we did we did all the hits, but we did all the stuff from the beginning, all Kahutek and all that stuff, all the way up, and that wasted us all. Actually, even Neil was thinking he was getting carpal. So I was pushed into it. It's like, well, we know you sing the high stuff and stuff. Try them out. So I tried it out front, singing lead. And that was like, I was scared to death, you
Yeah.
guys. I mean, I lifted my hand to like, go, and it was shaking. I just put the hand back down. To just don't look at the audience, sing. I never sang out front again, man, because I wanted I was behind the drum kit. It was like so much easier behind my gauntlet. It's like I'm safe.
Well, that's been your
But that's how I got rooked.
It's been your safe space for your whole life. So yeah, totally.
Yeah. I'm a drummer that happens to sing. That's how I see it.
Yeah. Kyle, do you
and I'm
sing?
very grateful. Yes, he does. I'm backing up.
No.
You're lying,
With a
Kyle
lot of
Joseph.
auto tune and stuff like that, I sound awesome.
Right.
Oh,
Nothing wrong with
dude.
that.
No, dude,
Without-
he's that's not true. That boy can sing his ass off, and I've heard it and I've witnessed it. So you're lying, young man. You're lying.
No.
Hey, Kyle, so when you write, do you write the lyrics, melodies, and the music? Do you do it all?
Mainly just the music. I kind of laid back on the lyrics a little bit. I'm very critical of my own stuff. Like, this isn't good. Like, throw it away. Like, it's one
Yeah,
of
we're the
those
same way.
situations. Yeah.
Guys, he sings great. Don't let him fool you. He sings fantastic. I'm telling you that.
I would say
Trust
if your
me.
dad's as good a singer as Dean is, then you're bound to be. But my dad's a great singer, and I suck. So actually, I know that does not necessarily mean anything.
Look at this way. I'm a drummer, and this boy kicks my ass. I mean, he flies against. Oh, dude, totally. Come on. And I'm not a dad. I'm not doing the dad. Hey, lift my son up. You guys will see it.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
For sure.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear your
Well,
stuff.
thank you.
Absolutely.
That'll be $20, Kyle.
Deal.
Dean, you also sang in Revolution Saints. Is that still going, that project?
It is actually, man. I just finished my vocal parts about, maybe 2 months ago. And it's totally different from the way I sang with Revolution Saints in the past. They always wrote songs that were very Journey-esque. And we got a new writing team, and Joel's involved as well with Marco Mendoza. And the stuff is I sing lower. I'm definitely singing lower. And there's not a lot of Perry stuff. And that's kind of where I live anyway. My voice is rough. You can tell it's very gruffy and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
I sang the way I would talk. I was just digging into the character more, learning more instead of, okay, I got to copy Steve Perry on this. Okay, this has got to be a Steve Perry Faithfully vibe. I just, I found the character, and Jenk is our producer, who's actually the guitarist for Winger. And I think he takes Reb's place when Reb's gone. But dude, he and his two boys write the most amazing songs, and instantly I got it. It's more hard rock, it's a little darker, a little rougher, and I fell in love with this stuff. And so there's not going to be a lot of stuff, but that is like Perry, but it's definitely me. And I'm finally coming into my own as a singer, because I've never felt like a front man or a singer. Like, Jeff Scott Soto, those guys, they're front man, and Arnell, Johnny G. Willie, I'm not. John Crosby, I'm not.
So how many songs did you guys do?
We've done 8 so far, and there was one that was just sent to me today that's called Wait, and I just heard it without the lyrics, and it's brilliant. It's brilliant. But I end up doing, I think, like 10, 11 normal stuff, and then I'll promote it, and I'm hoping, bro. I don't know. Now the journey, we're doing the last 3 years is going to be coming up here. I don't know if I'm going to have time again. Here we go. Schedules conflicting. So we're going to do shows one day. Someday, man, it's going to happen. Because I want to do it, man. I want to do it.
Well, you've always been one of those hardworking guys, man. We were talking on before we came on air about Zach Wilde and how Zach just doesn't take breaks. Dean, you don't have many breaks either, my man.
I try not to, man. I like to keep busy, and that's mostly for me to keep my sobriety, dude. Yeah. I got to keep busy. If I don't keep busy, my head gets squirrely. And so I've just immersed myself so much in the kids now, and while I'm off, and driving my car and listening to music. And I don't golf, so, and I'm not a gambler. Definitely not using drugs anymore, so... it's limited. So I'm just trying to do benefits and things to help other people, just to give back. Yeah.
How long sober now are we?
How long have you been sober?
Oh, geez, bro. 10 years. 10 years and on June 24th I hit 10 years on the 24th of this year. Yeah. I've almost lost track, man. I'm getting old. So I've had some ups and downs with pain medication after surgeries. And of course, that's a slippery slope. Right. So people can say, oh, yeah, you relapse, start over. I don't buy into that, man. You just, it's a prescription. I was getting out of hand. My family reeled me in. Life is good.
So good
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Congratulations on that.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
Before we move on to Ozzy real quick, I do have a quick question. I had no idea you played on the Social Distortion record.
Oh, yeah, dude, that was one of those. I've done a couple records like that where I wasn't allowed to say anything. And Social D was a favor for Michael Beinhorn. After I did the whole record and I signed the agreement and did all that stuff, he was like, you know what, bro? I got a record I need you to do. There's not a lot of money in it, but you would be perfect for it. Will you do me the solid? I said, of course, bro. I mean, Social D. I went, oh, yeah, definitely. I don't even care if the money's good, man. The street cred is amazing from that,
Amazing.
So just to be able to play some of that stuff. And I went in and I did that record in 3 days. I did 14 songs in 3 days. But the cool thing was they were all so great. The people, the vibe, Mike Ness and all of them, Dennis, all of them were so good to me, because I am this chop strummer coming into, and how are you going to play punk rock, bro?
Right.
And I remember Mike Ness go, how did you pick up our sound? So I said, dude, it's fucking rock and roll. It's in your head, in your face, on your mark. It said go. What else do you need? I mean, you know what I mean? It's just balls to the wall, go. And I fell in love with that record, dude. It was such a blast to do it with him. So I did Michael a favor. And then he got me another big record after that, which paid quite a bit as well. I mean, he kept me around. Beinhorn kept me around for about 4 or 5 years doing records for him. And I'll never forget that. Michael Beinhorn's a freaking genius, man. Amazing.
We have a joke on the show. If it was Beanhorn and Beinhorn, we could not take the rest of the time.
Okay.
Rainbow Benny Mike Horn.
Let me go ahead. Let's let Dean in on it. Dean, in case you can't tell, I'm a hillbilly.
Yeah.
My accent. I'm a
that's
hillbilly.
all right, bro.
So
you're from Baby Billy country.
I'm from Baby Billy country. And the first,
Awesome, bro.
our first episode was an in depth of Osmosis, and I think Kyle listened to it, and that's I think when he started enjoying the show because we were so complimentary of you and your contribution to the CD, the album. But
Yeah.
I always called him Michael Beanhorn because I'm a hillbilly.
Dude, who was it? I think it was. I don't know which guys in Red Hot Chili Peppers. He was doing the record. They called him Rainbow Benny Mike Horn. They called him
Bicycle Mean
Bicycle Bean Horn.
Oh my God, that's great.
He had all kinds of names, man, from the Chili Peppers guys. I just call him Mike. He's a badass, man. One of the greatest producers ever, really.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
So what other albums have you played on that you were supposedly had to keep quiet?
Hole, Celebrity
Okay.
Skin.
Nice.
That was one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me think. There was one other one a band called Foam that I wasn't supposed to say anything about. The drummer wasn't working out. I did the drum tracks as another favorite of Michael, and they had just got signed to, I believe, Columbia, but it never got off the ground. I think they broke up, and that was it. But that was when it's like, oh, hush, hush. They don't want to know studio musicians are playing on this. You know, it was very grungy type stuff. But those were the ones that were like
Yeah.
Okay.
keep on the download. And so, Social Distortion and Hole were the biggest ones. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe
Definitely.
you played on "I Was Wrong." It's like one of their biggest hits, man, and that's such a great song.
Isn't that record one of the greatest, like,
Oh yeah,
OC punk
I'm a
records
big
ever?
Mike Ness fan, man, huge, and I just think
He's brilliant.
Yeah, he's just such a brilliant songwriter, man. I think he's got such a unique sound and style, and I think that's what I look for in music.
Yeah, I think you believe it. You know what I mean? When Mike
Yeah.
sings, you believe it. You know what I mean? It's from his guts, and
Absolutely.
he's lived it or he's breathed it. You know,
He has
it's cool.
definitely done that. Yeah,
Yeah,
he has
very
lived a
cool.
hard life
Yeah,
for
definitely.
sure.
Yeah, but he's alive and he's kicking ass.
Yeah, that's right. I wish they would write something new. My gosh, it's
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
I don't think that. What was the last one they did, you guys? I don't even know.
Yeah, I do. Let me think about this for a second. It's got to be about close to 20 years ago now, I think.
Oh wow.
Yeah, let me think. No, Sex, Love, and Rock and Roll came out in 2004.
Okay.
21 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, that's their last record, and it's a great record.
Yeah. Definitely. I gotta pick that. I figured Kyle would know. He knows all this stuff, man. He's the trivia queen.
Dan
man.
is like
King of
that too,
He
dude.
knows.
Dan is an
knows, he
encyclopedia.
knows.
We had Gus G on here from the Ozzy's band, and Dan's like,
Oh, yeah.
Dan's like, oh man, your first band you were in junior high, Nosferatu. I remember
yeah.
those guys. I heard that demo, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like he's bringing up bands that I had no.
Okay. All right, Josh. Let's test him. What was the first metal band that I was in? From the very very start, when I was 16 years old.
Wild Dogs.
Oh, you do know. Oh my God, most people don't know that. It's like, I don't know what we had. Very good, dude. I owe you
That's perfect.
$20.
That's okay. You already made my day.
We'll call
man.
it Square.
Oh, dude.
The funny thing is, it's Chuck Biscuits is like listed as the drummer on that record,
Right,
and he was
right.
the Danzig drummer. So I always
Yep.
thought it was him playing.
Yeah, and that's when it came out, I remember asking Michael. He goes, "Well, being that you've played in bad English, and you don't have the street cred, and he's the new drummer now, so they just wanted to list him." I said, "Dude, you know what? I'm fine with that. I love those guys, of course, no problem." I never had to sign a non-disclosure agreement because they never asked me to. It was Courtney that asked me to sign something that that I would say nothing, which was fine. I was like, "No, I don't want to bother with you. No problem. No good. All good, Courtney. You're good.
Not a problem.
Yeah, not a whim."
Yeah, bad English too. My God, you've had such an amazing career, Dean. Holy
For real.
shit.
And I gotta give glory to God, dude. You guys, I should be dead. Honestly, with the amount of drugs I was taking, I should be dead. So, just to be alive and to have that career, I look back and just go, man, how many times many guys have tried to do that and they have done it. Now here's a guy like me that got that chance and did a lot of things to destroy myself.
Yeah.
So it really brings that into perspective. Once I got clean, it's like, man, you cherish this, you hold on tight and you believe it and you live it and you just be gratitude all the time. Perpetual state of gratitude all the time.
Absolutely.
And real quick, the last thing I'll say about that is I saw John Waite live about a year or two ago. Holy
Nice.
shit, does that guy still have it?
Still, bro.
nice.
The Zeppelin stuff he does. I mean,
Yeah,
it blew
right?
me away. I was like,
Videos.
oh my Yes,
Yeah, he
unbelievable.
blew me away with the Zeppelin stuff.
Yeah, I didn't
Absolutely.
even know he had that in him, man. He's always been a great singer, and he was always a balladeer kind of guy, and then a storyteller, and then he comes
Right.
out and just tears the hell out of
Yeah,
freaking Zeppelin. It was like,
unbelievable.
that's my boy. He's bad.
Yeah, after the show, Dan was sending me videos of it. He's like, dude, check this shit out. Like
Yeah.
he's yep.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Incredible, huh? My
I
gosh,
was
man.
fucking blown away. I was like, holy. I mean, I'm a fan of Bad English. I'm a fan of course, John Waite solo stuff. The Babies was great. But I
Yeah.
just couldn't believe when he was singing that Zeppelin shit. I was just
It was,
like,
I'm with you. I'm with you, man. Same thing. I would hope to get a Bad English reunion together, but we'll make Kyle play drums. You got the gig now, bro.
I'm in.
You got it.
Kyle said he didn't want to ruin his street cred, right, Kyle?
Oh yeah. You know
It
that
is well-
street cred in Kaiser, Oregon.
Well, it is well known that I do play wuss rock. I think it was you, Kyle, that told me that. I said, Dad, you play wuss rock. I said, yeah, but it pays
I
the
did
bills.
not. What are you
Was it
talking
you?
about?
I don't remember who it was that said that. It was like some young kid said, maybe it was one of the nephews. You play wuss rock. I said, well, yeah, well, wuss rock
I've
plays,
never even
pays the
used
bill.
that term wuss before.
I know it was one of the people in my family said it, the little kid. So forgive me if I'm mistaken you to say that, but oh my gosh.
No,
Yeah.
trust me, I would admit to it.
I played a show.
But it's true.
I played a show about a year ago, and this kid come up. He was about 22, 23, and he's like, hey, man, you guys are really good. And he was kind of bragging us up. And I'm like, thanks, dude. He goes, you got that dad rock thing, man, like that dad rock. And I'm like, what the fuck is dad
I get
rock?
told that sometimes.
Hey,
You just got hit, bro. You're bleeding. Like, what the heck?
my singer, my singer to this day is bothered by that, man. He's like, fucking dad rock and all this.
Dad rock. Yeah.
I love it.
Ouch.
Yeah, but sometimes dad rock pays, man. If dad rock's going to pay and you got kids in college, might not be a bad idea to do some dad rock. You know?
Oh, yeah. 100%. And I do have a kid in college. Absolutely.
You know, man. You know.
So
Very cool.
if we can move to the conversation of Ozzy, if that's okay.
Yes. Yes, of course.
So before
Sorry for
we
my
get to
jumper,
Oz-
you know.
Before we get to Osmosis, we know you were introduced to Ozzy by Steve Vai. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah.
Okay.
The story goes is I got a call from Steve saying, look, Ozzy's looking for a drummer. I had another guy lined up for him, but I told the guy, I thought about you and thought you would be a better fit. So I let that guy, go, and I'm bringing you in, and Todd Jensen, who was in Hardline with me. And Steve
In a
Perry.
journey now.
Yeah. And so we went in to Steve's studio and started playing these songs that Steve had written, really cool riffy stuff, really like slinky rock. And it was amazing. And I got done, and Ozzy goes, you're a great drummer, man. You're a great drummer. I love your playing. You're great. And I was like, wow, that's very cool. So we conformed the band. They actually let Todd go because he was, honestly, this is the truth, he was too good looking. I mean, Todd's got blonde hair. He looks really good. He's a good looking. And they wanted somebody more rough. And definitely I won, dude. I was ugly as sin. So it worked out great for me. So we went to New York, and we ended up getting Bob Daisley to rehearse with us. And Zach was there, which was great. So Zach was playing with us. Ozzy would come in, listen to the stuff. Michael Beinhorn came in, listened to the stuff we had written, walked out, and I get a call from Sharon saying, Steve Vai's going home. I'm like, what? She goes, yeah, but Ozzy wants to keep you as his drummer. Do you want to stay? I said, of course I do. Oh my God, of course I do. It's a dream come true. I mean, he's the biggest of the big. Of course I did. So they
I mean, you
ended
got
up.
to see him with Randy, didn't you? Like back
What's
in
that
the
now?
day?
I what
Didn't you
now?
get to see him with Randy?
I did, yeah. And Randy was great, dude. Are you kidding? Dude,
That's
I mean,
amazing.
the Drummers Club. I remember when I got fired from Ozzy, he was like, hey, man, come here. Drummers Club. He gave me a big hug. We're all in this together. I know what it's like. I'm like, it's all good. But
Oh, right.
anyway,
Yeah.
so we go to New York.
You.
Yeah, we go to New York. We're playing the record. We're starting to write songs. And Zach started coming in to write, thank God. So Zach started writing the stuff, and it was all coming together. All the songs started coming together. Then we went to Paris, did the record. It was fantastic. It was me, Geezer at that time, Zach, and Ozzy. Did the record in Paris with Michael. Came out great. And then it was time to tour. And I think Zach was being courted by Guns N' Roses at the time. So it was one of those things like Zach was like, well, I'll give you a notice in 24 hours. And I think he ended up passing on the Ozzy tour. So they got Joe Holmes, which was, I heard about him from a couple of friends of mine and told Sharon about him, and they brought Joe in. So for the tour, it was Joe Holmes and Geezer and myself and Ozzy, and it was a blast. Just a dream come true, guys. Played in Monsters of Rock with Ozzy freaking Osbourne and Geezer freaking Butler.
Listen,
I can die happy, you know?
I bet Dan and Kyle do this. We're on the circuit. It's the bootleg thing, especially growing up before YouTube. We would trade VHS tapes. That show of you in Chile, man, that shit was one of my favorite ones. 95.
No kidding.
That was
Yeah,
that was Joe's third show, so that would have been your third show, right?
Yes, yeah, those were great, and when I got fired, I mean, I was confused as to why. There wasn't a big press thing. It's just the press release was that he belongs in the studio. He's a better studio drummer, and the Beatles didn't have the greatest drummer in the world, but they had the right drummer, and that's what I got from it. And dude, it broke my heart. I mean, obviously, it broke my heart. So I ended up leaving, and. Then I got the call from Gloria about two or 3 weeks later, after Randy had come back, and that was hard, because to be, Gloria was like, look, Sharon wants you back, Ozzy wants you back. Do you want to come back? And I did. I paused for a while. I said, I don't think so. I don't think it's, there's not, the chemistry isn't right. I don't think he likes me. It was a weird situation, man. It was strange after a while. And I knew it was like, that's not where I need to be. I just knew it's like, look, you fire you once, they may fire you again. You're not fireproof. So I ended up saying, no, Gloria, as much as I honor them and tell them thank you, but I'm going to back off. And I didn't play for about 6 months, and then Journey called. See, I didn't see the big picture. I was just like devastated that Ozzy fired me. I mean, my hero, my fucking hero, let me go. And Neil called and said, hey, you want to be in Journey? I'm like, yeah. He goes, without Steve Perry? I said, I don't care what configuration it is, man. I want to play with you again. I want to play with you, Neil. Yeah. Yeah, so there we go. We went up and I was in Journey. I didn't see the big picture, but that was the biggest blessing I'd ever received. Yeah,
absolutely.
Pretty cool.
And you're, with all due respect, you're still viewed. You've been in that band for over 20 years now. I mean, off a little bit, but on
27. Yeah,
and,
this will be 28 years coming up in 26.
Yeah,
with the 4 years or 5 years off I had. To get my shit.
You're by no means viewed as like a fill-in drummer or you're a member of Journey, and you know what I mean. It means something. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those guys are brothers to me, man. I mean, we started, like I said, first it was Bad English with Jonathan and Neil. And then Neil took me everywhere he went. After Bad English, he took me to the Hardline. Then he took me with him to Paul Rogers. Then the Ozzy stint for 3 years. And then that was it. Journey happened, and I've been with him ever since. And I don't think I will end my career with him. Definitely with Neil. I don't know with Journey, but it will be Neil in some configuration the rest of my life. We're tight like that,
Yeah. You did Soul Circus with him, too.
Yeah, dude, that was a great one. Great record.
Yeah.
Great record.
Yeah, it is a great record.
But that was when I was struggling with drugs. So, they hired Virgil Donati to play the tour because I was a little up and down back then. That was way before I got clean. So, yeah.
So when you first met Ozzy and you were doing the Steve Vai stuff, I think that band was going to be called X-Ray. Did Ozzy write and record? Did you guys record that record?
Kyle, do you have some of those demos? Or
the only thing I have was it might have been just like the writing sessions with Zach and Geezer. I don't have anything with Steve.
Yeah, we had some songs, about 4 songs written up, and it definitely, I mean, Steve just brought so much to the table. But I don't know. I don't think. Yeah, I just don't know if Ozzy. They weren't. I mean, as people, they were getting along great, but I just don't think the songs worked with Oz. Yeah. I mean, Steve's such a great player, and it was very riffy, where there's a lot more, rock and roll cordage with Zach. There's a lot of, grinding and stuff. I think Ozzy was comfortable with that, but I could be wrong. You'd have to ask Steve that, but. Yeah, man. I mean, we have some demos. There's some out there when you can hear Ozzy saying, "Deen, count me in." It was so fun, man. Just like, and he'd watch me, like, 3, 4. Now there is this person. You know what I mean? It was so great to not even. I mean, I'm not orchestrating. I'm not telling, but he just needed a little. Tell me when to come in, man. Because he's like me, man. It's like, I don't know where we're going here. Let's just, let me know when I come in. You know, right? That's how the sessions work.
Let me tell you, Dean. I'm sorry, Dan. You get
So Ozzy talks about a song a lot called "On a Roll Again" that was done, and I don't know if you remember that, but that's the song he mentions a lot from that session. It mentioned, and then Steve recorded a song called "Dying Day" on one of his records that was written for the X-Ray session as well.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, that ended up on Fire Garden, I believe.
Fire Garden.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one song that I had never heard that I actually played on the demo, but I think they took my drums off, and that is Kyle? What's the song called? I got to remember. I'm 61. Hold on.
Was it Walk on Water?
Yeah, Walk on Water was one, but there was a new one. Oh gosh, what is it?
Not Back on Earth.
Something.
he would be on back.
I
On
can't
Earth,
remember
right?
it.
That was the Osmosis station.
No, it was my. I forget. I'm trying to remember the song at the very end.
We need to get
Great
Steve
chorus.
to send us some stuff.
Yeah, dude, I know. You know what? I'll remember it, but it was so killer. I Black Rain or something. Black something.
Oh, Black Skies.
Black Skies. That's it.
Oh my God.
Oh, he fell over. No, I'm just kidding. That's his
You
phone.
okay, Dean?
My seat fell. Yes, went right through the freaking thing. I got too
You
happy.
all right?
Got too excited. Oh yeah, I'm good. That was fun. Wait, is this being filmed? Are we going to keep this?
Yes.
Keep it. You got to, dude. Everybody knows I'm down to earth and I fall on my ass once in a while.
As long as you're okay, man.
was-
Oh, totally, bro. Totally.
Hey,
That
Actually, I'll
was
tell
a
you
real
the
song.
seat went right through there.
oh God.
Oh,
I'm on a deck, so yeah, we're
Hey,
good.
For the listeners that don't know,
Yeah.
Dean is on vacation right now. So, Dean, thank you for taking
That's
time
right.
out of your vacation to speak with us.
Dude, of course, you know what? Anything I can do for you guys and for Kyle, when Kyle, said, hey, these guys are really the aficionados of Ozzy, dude. You got to talk to him. I'm like, I'm in. Let's do it, buddy. So I got to thank Kyle for this. Kyle set this up, and I'm grateful,
So-
really am grateful.
But to back up,
It was black, whatever that is, Black Skies.
Black Skies. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was written by Neil
written by
Schon.
Neil.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had written it for Ted Nugent at one time and Journey, but it never got through. It was actually on a Bad English demo as well. The end part, that doom, doom, bang,
Yeah.
doom,
I know exactly what part you're
yeah,
talking about.
yeah. That's on the song. What was it called back then? It was a Journey tune, or a Bad English tune, but I forgot what it was called. I'm 61. I'm forgetting shit now. So.
No, it's all good. And Dan and I made eyes at each other. You mentioned Walk on Water. We talked about that
Yes.
song just a few episodes ago, and we don't know who plays drums on it.
It was me at one point, and I think Mike Borden came in to replace my parts.
So you're on the demo. There is a demo version that's out there that Ozzy released. And then
Yes,
there's the official-
and that's me. Yeah, that was recorded at Guillaume Tell Studios. That was one of the extras off of Osmosis that didn't get on.
Yeah.
It
That's
was.
the
I think it
other
was. Yeah. What's that?
So that was another question I was going to ask about. There's like 9 songs from that session that still have not been released. He recorded like 19 songs you guys recorded for that session.
You know that? See, I don't even know that, bro. That's amazing. I'm bowing, dude.
Oh, thanks, man.
It went by so fast. I don't even remember, dude. I was sitting in Paris just kicking ass with Zach.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I see a picture with you, Bob Daisley, and Mark Hudson online.
Yes.
And were you part of the Ozzyland sessions too?
That went. I was actually living in. Sharon got me a beautiful apartment in London, and I would drive every day with Mark Hudson and Steve Dudas, this guitarist. And we were writing songs. So, like a lot of those Beatlesque songs you hear on Osmosis, a couple of those were written by Mark and Steve. I got to get the record and see which ones they are. You can tell the Zach ones compared to the Mark Hudson stuff.
Denial and Goes Behind My Eyes.
Yes.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are those that they wrote, and they were great. Those guys were great, man. I love those two. So yeah, it was
Look at the
fantastic to live
smile
with
on
them.
Kyle's face because he knows me and Dan eat this shit up. This is what we love.
They already know all of this.
He
I love
already
it.
knows. This is what we love.
We're learning,
This
Dad.
is what we love. Yes.
Okay, Kyle, why don't you tell them the story about us eating with Ozzy and Sharon at the Plaza in New York? This is amazing.
I don't remember this. I was just being told this because I was probably 4 years old. But
Okay.
where were we eating?
At the Plaza in the
Okay.
like the dining room at the Plaza Hotel.
So it was you, me, Mom, Sharon, Ozzy, and Tony, right?
Yes, Tony is
Okay.
assistant. Yeah.
I was told that Ozzy gave me like a basket of rolls, and he wanted me to throw them at a waiter.
Yes.
Was that it?
Dude, yeah, he kept going. Kyle, throw it. Kyle, throw it. And Sharon's like, Ozzy, Ozzy, no, you know. One of the happiest
For the
memories.
record, I didn't do it.
Yeah, no, he didn't do it. I mean, he kept looking at me and looking at Mom like, should I do it?
That sounds so Aussie, doesn't it? Just
It was.
yeah.
That's the side that a lot of people never saw, was that sweet, innocent, happy-go-lucky guy. You know, that just loved life and lived life and didn't give a crap what anyone thought of him. He was going to do it his way, like Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
And I loved him for that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Very cool. Very
He was
cool.
a good man.
So
He was.
you said earlier that Steve Vai brought you in, and I've always assumed that also. But you also mentioned that you were already tight with Beinhorn and doing a lot with him before that also.
Well, actually, I wasn't. Beinhorn was my first time was with Ozzy. My first record with Beinhorn was at Guillaume Tell Studios in Paris, Osmosis.
Oh,
and
okay,
at
so
first,
it was after that you started doing favors.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
at first, I'll tell you a story about the record, man. This is interesting. A lot of people don't know this. We were doing the record, and I was playing with a click and without a click. And Michael goes, "Dude, you play better without a click." So he was getting frustrated. We weren't getting any tracks. So I said, "Bro, I know the songs by heart. Send the band home, all of them. Send Ozzy, everybody home. Put the demos in. I'll play to the demos. Okay, watch." And Michael's like, "Okay." I did the first song, I think it was Perry Mason, first one without a click. And I nailed it. Like, nailed it. First take, he goes, "Oh my God. That's it. That's it." And we ended up doing 6 more just like it. Because I was getting red light syndrome watching the world famous Geezer Butler and Ozzy motherfucking Osbourne staring at me while I'm playing the song. Scared the hell out of me, man. I mean, I got red light syndrome. I was just like freaked out. When they went home, Zach and all, they went back to their hotels, I nailed it. And that's because it was just me and Michael. And I just dug in. I didn't think of anything. I just dug in. And those 7 songs were one takes. It was amazing.
Dude,
Yeah. So, yeah. I think Ozzy was getting frustrated too because I wasn't getting what he wanted. I mean, he wasn't getting it. And Michael was frustrated, and Ozzy was frustrated, and so Michael said, "You know what? Go home. Just go home." And I said, "I can do these without him. Just let me do it without him." And it worked. It worked.
It worked.
Beinhorn's a genius, you guys. He's a freaking genius. He saw my potential, even though I was scared shitless. And he knew. He's like, "Okay, I'm going to take away all the scary stuff, and we're just going to bring you and I. Let's go." And we did it. We ended up doing it. So Michael hired me for other things. The first thing after that was Social D. And like I said, and then after that was Hole. And then after that was Foam. And then after that, I think there was one other one, but after that part, I got into Journey, and I was gone, pretty much gone by then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Michael Beinhorn really pushed the shit out of Ozzy. I mean, he sounds fucking incredible on that.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. At one point, we were doing I was doing the background for vocals for Ozzy, and I had done them without Michael's approval. We had an engineer, and Ozzy was like, "Hey, just do them, Dave. Just do them." I go and do them. Beinhorn gets in and he goes, "Never, ever put a background vocal without me here." You know what I'm saying? And Ozzy was, we were both like, "Oh." Oh. So we
Did they
ended up.
stay on the record, Dean?
Yes,
Wow.
they did.
I didn't know
They ended up
that.
staying. Yeah, but it was just, we were just kind of bored. And we were in the studio with the engineer, and Michael had to do something with this child. He had a brand new baby that he was dealing with. And yeah, so I did it. Everybody got yelled at, and it ended up staying on. So it's pretty cool.
Well, Ozzy's been known throughout the years to mention that he did not have the best time in that recording session, but it's because Michael did push him so hard. But the proof is in the pudding when you listen back to the album. He sounds like a fucking god, as Dan says all the time. He sounds
does.
excellent on the record.
He is, bro. It was pretty amazing. I mean, he pushed all of us. I got it the most, and so did Oz. Oz definitely got it, pretty hard because he wanted what he wanted. He knew Ozzy's potential. Again, it was all about, you know what? I'm going to dig right into that soul, and I'm going to pull everything out of you. And that's what he did, man. We weren't there for the vocal sessions. We stayed away. It was all like, Michael, like, you and me, Oz. Everybody get the hell out. And we didn't come back for 2 or 3 weeks. And there was at one point where Ozzy got so frustrated with Michael. He did the session, got on a private jet, flew home, right, to England, and didn't tell him. Just said, "Where's Ozzy?" We come in for the session, "Where's Ozzy?" He's like, "Oh, he went home. He'll be back on, when you're done with the basic tracks." It was one of those things. He just checking out, goodbye. And that was awesome. See, he was his own man. And Sharon protected him so well. It's like, you know what, if you're stressed, let's go. She was wonderful for him. Just perfect for him.
Oh my God, by far. So did Ozzy
That's
bring
real
you?
love, man. That's
It
real
is real
love.
love for sure.
Yeah.
So did Ozzy bring you into the Ozzy Land sessions with Mark Hudson? Is that how you got into that? Did Ozzy recruit
Yes.
you there?
Yep.
Okay.
That I believe that was yeah, well Sharon called me and said, "Hey, we're going to do these sessions in England at John Henry Studios. You know, I'm going to fly you in. You're going to stay at this nice apartment." And that's and we ended up hanging at his house in Buckinghamshire. Oh my gosh, we rode bikes together. You know, the four-wheelers and stuff.
Yeah.
It was like being a part of the family, man.
That's
It was
awesome.
just amazing. Yeah, and the kids, they were the sweetest, kindest kids. I didn't see any of that crazy dysfunction, man. I saw two kids really. Amy wasn't really much into her there, but the Jack and Kelly were just fun, and they always were happy, and they were always goofing off. It was like that's what kids should
That's
be,
awesome.
you know. It was
Yeah.
great. Yeah, they were raised right.
Absolutely. And you know, when the Osbournes came out, that was kind of the thing. It's like, you know what? Yeah, they cuss and yeah, they're crazy, but they love each other and they're a beautiful family. Like
Absolutely.
you know.
Yeah,
So
it's
Dan and I have a thing for this Aussie land and some of these unreleased shit. We gotta dive into this. Who played bass
okay.
on that? Do you recall?
Bob Daisley
On Ozzy Land?
on the Aussie. It was Bob Daisley, me, Steve Dudas, Mark Hudson. Yeah, I think.
That's
Let me guess. Let me just think. I think it was. I don't think Geezer came in until the record was ready to record.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't come in until the record was ready to
through
be.
osmosis.
Yes, until it was time. So we were in writing processes, you know, doing all this stuff. First Steve Vai, then the Dudas, Mark Hudson stuff, and then you know I took a break, went back home, and then it was like, okay, you know, we're going to. I think it was we're going to try this out with Geezer's coming in, and Zach's going to do the record finally. We finally got nailed down with him, and he started writing. He started writing big time, and the songs just came out
I know we
unbelievable.
did some writing sessions with Jim Valance during that time too. Were you part of that as well?
I was not. That I think I was. I think does Valance live in London or something? I'm not
Yeah, I'm
sure,
not sure.
but
Canadian, I
I
believe.
wasn't prepping for
He's
that.
Canadian.
He
Yeah.
wrote "I Just Want You" with him and
Yeah,
Waggy Waggy.
yeah. I see. I wasn't. I remember the songs and I played them in the studio, but
Yeah.
I wasn't around when Jim and he were doing that stuff.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So the
Anything
Steve
else?
Vai, yeah, absolutely. The Steve Vai stuff. So Kyle knows this already. I can see it on his face. Kyle messaged us once. We messaged back and was like, "Hey, do you have those X-ray sessions by any chance? Because we want to hear them." Because for
Man, I wish.
Dan and I, that's the holy grail of unreleased is the Steve Vai sessions
Yeah.
for sure. You Steve
Well, I think
Vai,
Steve Vai still got. I think Vai still has them, bro. I
He
mean, I
does.
can always ask if he's got them.
Steve
He does.
Steve said in an interview recently how good that material was and that he wished Sharon would let him release it.
Yeah.
Like
you
recent,
go.
like a year ago.
Yeah.
So
Do you think she will?
at some point,
Someday,
yeah,
I think so.
at some
I think
point.
the Ozzy Land stuff would get released before it, personally.
Yeah, more commercial, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't
Yeah,
know. We've
yeah,
not
I
heard the
understand
X-ray stuff. Tell us, Dean. Let us hear it. And let us. Yeah, poor old Kyle messaged us one time. We're like, "Hey, dude, you have those X-ray sessions by any chance? Like, we won't share. We promise." Like, he's like, "No."
Well, they were done at Steve Vai's studio too. Some of them were done at Steve's studio, so
Yeah.
the drums are really loud and everything's really loud, and you can barely hear Ozzy, but you can tell it's in a decent studio. You know.
Right.
God, I wish I had those, man. I wish maybe my old drum tech, maybe Rob Coursey has
Call
it.
Rob
He has a
and
new
Steve.
book out. You know Rob Coursey, by the
No,
way?
but call him and Steve and ask them.
Well, he's got a lot of stuff about Ozzy because he was my drum tech throughout that entire time. If you want to talk to him, he just wrote a book called Road Cases
Kyle,
that has all the stories about Ozzy in there, every one of them.
I'll have to
It's
check it out.
amazing. You guys got to check it
Yeah,
out.
it's
It's really
great.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kyle, you did turn
Really
us
cool.
on to that guy actually, and I think I messaged
Yeah.
him. He's going to come on. Maybe it's closer to the book getting. The book's not released yet when it comes out. I think right.
Yeah.
Not yet. No, it should be ready really soon
Yeah.
though. Last time I
Yeah, they
talked
had
to
me
him.
do an endorsement on it a couple of weeks ago. You know,
Yeah.
saying how great it is and how proud of Robbie and congratulations. So yeah, there's a book release.
He's
I
a
think
good
it's just
cat.
done.
So yeah, we'll
Good
we'll
man.
work
And
on that
dude,
for sure.
play with everybody. Okay, I'll give him a good, a good recommendation for you guys. Definitely.
Thank you so much,
that.
Dean. We
Of course,
appreciate
guys.
that.
Of course.
So, what is any other questions for about Ozzy, Josh?
I mean, not really. I mean, you know, the
Yeah,
X-ray
you did a
stuff
great
is
job
definitely
explaining
a topic we want to dive into so bad with anybody. We talked about him with Jack also, and Jack he said it was good shit. I think he had heard him. Didn't he tell us he had heard him? And that it was good
Jack-
stuff.
Yeah, and he loved the Ozzy Land stuff
It's
for
like,
sure.
ugh.
Very
You know,
cool.
so that's the neat
I do
thing
have
about
one
it.
Ozzy story. I do have one
In a
Ozzy. So
way, though,
you guys
Dean,
might
we
want to
played
hear.
on 3 records
Yeah.
with Ozzy. If we can just get these other 2
Yeah,
released.
and one I know about. One I know about.
What's that
Yeah.
Ozzy story, Dean? Let's hear it.
Well, I don't know if you can take it out if you want, but we were on stage. It was in I think it was Sao Paulo, Monsters
Oh,
Rock.
is that
One of
where
the
he
places.
poured the water into Joe's boots?
That was one, but he came walking up to me. I'm on this big drum riser, walking up to me, and Geezer's right next to me on the side here, right? And we're headbanging, and Ozzy's just looking at us and then looking down, looking up
Oh no.
and looking down, and Geezer's looking at him, we're looking at me like, and on purpose, he just peed himself, just and smiled,
Oh
and
my
Geezer just
God.
got the look on Geezer's face like, oh Lord. You know, just like, it was good. But those were funny stories. I mean, I don't know if that'll bother Sharon because it was just, he was a funny guy and he had fun on
That won't
stage.
bother
That was what
Sharon.
was beautiful.
No.
It was serious, but it's like, man, I'm gonna have a good freaking time. He's got a fire hose and sprayed me right in the freaking face in Mexico City. That was
Oh
just
my God.
and played. It was unbelievable. Just funny
That's
I
stuff.
always
crazy.
assumed that the water buckets, that was kind of part of it, the gimmick. Though. Like you pissing yourself, you could whatever, you get the water bucket, no one will even notice it.
No one will know.
That's it.
For sure.
Nobody has a clue. He was just a wonderful guy, guys. If I can say anything about him, I was blessed to know him for the time that I did. He made me feel special, really, and he gave me a lot of props as a drummer. And I never got a chance to really make amends to him because, some of that firing was definitely my fault, smoking weed and not being in my right mind. And I never got a chance to say, hey, bro, thank you for all you did. You did a lot for me, whether you think you did or not. And I probably needed to be fired, Probably was smoking a little bit too much green and wandering around like, Sasquatch. It was bad. It was just bad.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that was the only regret.
Sasquatch.
that's so sweet, Dean.
Well, and like you said
Do
earlier,
you have
it
a
all.
favorite song off of? Go
No, I was
ahead,
gonna say
John.
it all works out in the end. Like you said, he
It
he
does all
recorded a
work
great
out.
album
It
with
does,
you,
100%.
maybe 2 other great albums that we'll
Yep.
hear someday with you, and you
Yeah.
ended up in Journey. It all worked out for everyone. But yeah,
It really did, man. It really did. And I'm just grateful I had that shot, He was the king. Back then, it was like, are you kidding? That's the top of the top. You can't get
It
any
is,
bigger than
for
Ozzy.
sure.
And that was the truth.
yeah.
So I was
Especially
very
in the
humbled.
'90s when like music was changing, and he was
Yeah.
so relevant in the
He
'90s.
changed with
man.
it,
He
Like
man.
I
always
was
stayed
like,
relevant.
They
Oh,
always say
it was
yeah.
really
Metallica
hard to
was
do, and
relevant in the
grunge
90s.
was
Well,
around, and
can
like,
Dane, if you don't mind, you
Yeah.
said to me on air before Dan jumped on with us that you mentioned that Randy Steele had came back and that they had called you to possibly come back in again after Randy because Randy wasn't quite working out, which they did get rid of Randy and go to Mike Borden, right?
Right.
Maybe
Yeah.
was that a change in the style you think? Because we had went from this poppier, glamier '80s sound to more of a heavy. Things had gotten darker in '95. So do you think that's a part
Yeah.
of it?
That I don't know. When I got the call from Gloria, and this is after I'd been fired about 2 or 3 weeks, and I was devastated, obviously devastated. Gloria Butler called me back, called me up and said, "Hey, Sharon wants to know if you'll come back." And I didn't know why, obviously. I mean, they said that Randy had been off for about a year and he hadn't played hardly at all during that time, and he's really rusty. He's just, they were out with him for a couple of weeks and he was just missing parts. And, just like if you don't play your instrument, you can sound like shit until get your gears going. And I think that's all it was. But
that's just being a human.
yeah, exactly. And
Yeah,
Randy's a
great point.
monster, man. I mean, come on, Randy Castillo is.
Randy is a beast.
Yeah, he
You
is.
know, so for me, it was like I just said, Gloria, as much as I'd love to do it, I don't think that's where I belong. Obviously, if I got fired once, I'll probably end up getting fired again. There's something about me that doesn't click with him, and I'd rather, And so, as much as I was like, yes, I'd love to come back, I was like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna back off. Well, within 6 months, I was in Journey, and I was made a partner right off the bat. It was like, oh, so no more sideman thing? What are you talking about? What do you mean, a fifth of everything? Shut the front door. It's just unbelievable, man.
amazing.
And
Yeah.
I've been ever since. They've been so good to me. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So, can you talk real quick about the writing process? I know you did so much writing with Ozzy. How did
Yeah.
that kind of work with you guys during all those writing process?
Well, with Vi, it was again all of us in a room, and Vi would have a riff, and he would play the riff, and I would come in with a drum part, and then we'd kind of work it out. And then Vi would say, okay, these are the parts that I have. So he would already have ideas. And he would run through these ideas with us, and I'd listen in. And we would just form a song, man. It was so good. The chemistry was great with Todd and I and Steve. But then when Todd left, then it was Bob Daisley. Again, writing. You got Daisley, who's an amazing writer, you know? And those two together, it was great. It was just everybody just in a room playing together like old school, man. None of this, sending files back and forth. It's like, here we go, we're a band, we're gonna play like a band. That was awesome. With the Dudas and Mark Hudson, same thing. In a rehearsal room, going through the stuff honestly with the snare drum and a bass drum and a right cymbal and a hat only. And we were playing acoustically almost, really just acoustically. And Ozzy would be in there and we write songs. We'd be writing some songs. And Ozzy would come in later, listen to him and go, yeah, that sounds great. Or, nah, I don't like that one. And we came up with a bunch of great songs. That was kind of the writing back then. And I loved that about it, When we got into the studio with Zach in Paris, that's when things were on fire. Because Zachy brings a fire. You know what I mean? He don't play. He throws down. And that's what it was, man. Thunder Underground, I remember him just going, gang, 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 gang. And I was like, oh, give this to me. This is up my wheelhouse. Yeah. That was a brilliant song. That was the first one I think we wrote together. That one right there. He already had Perry Mason on a demo with Zach. But this one was one of them, and it came out very organic, right in the studio. Ozzy wasn't there, me, Geezer, and Zach. And it was killer. It was just evil.
And probably the same from My Jekyll Doesn't Hide, right? Because Geezer got a writing credit on that one, so it's probably a similar.
Yes. Very much so, man. And that was beautiful. All organic, man. All organic. And I think that's what made it. We had amazing chemistries with each writing, I was very blessed to be able to fit in with all of them, But Zach was my guy, dude. I mean, come on. Zach wrote what I wanted to hear, what you guys wanted to hear. He knew.
Sure.
Yeah.
So when would Ozzy start with his melodies? Would it be live or would it be off of the recordings and tape and stuff that you would send him?
He would come in and we would demo the stuff out. He would listen to it. Then he would come in and just note words. There wasn't lyrics yet. Bob hadn't written the lyrics yet. So he's like, on Thunder Underground. He would just come up with that. You guys like that, the melody? It's like, yeah, it's Ozzy. It was great. Everything that came out of him, it may not have been in tune. It may not have been perfect, but I'm telling you, everything that came out was melodic and catchy and real. Yeah.
Right. That's a great line right there.
It is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He didn't have to be the real deal singer. Yeah. That's it, Kyle. Exactly. So that's how we wrote. And then Bob would write the lyrics or Lemmy. They'd write the lyrics, get them all together. And then Michael would bring them in the studio and get the melodies correct and nail it,
Wow, that's great.
It was cool.
Yeah. I know you guys re-recorded a couple of songs from Ozzyland that didn't make the record during Osmosis, like Falling Up, which is I hear a great song. And then like Can't Get Enough or something like that. I think there was a couple of songs from the Ozzyland sessions that actually got recorded for Osmosis. Do you remember?
Yeah, I know Falling Up did. I don't remember the other one. I remember Falling Up, but I can't get down. Something like that. It's been a while, dude. I haven't heard those in 25, 30 years. But yeah, I remember Falling Up. I do remember Falling Up.
And Zach is playing on that? In the Osmosis?
So, man. Yes, I think he ended up recording them. Yeah, in the studio with me and Geese. So that is Zach. Whatever those guys, Mark Hudson and Dudas, would bring to him, Zach would just polish it up and make it his own. Right. He just here's my stamp. Unbelievable.
At that point, it sounds like
yeah.
Sure.
That is the sessions I want to hear, even more than the Dudas stuff. Is maybe the unreleased Osmosis stuff with Zach.
Well, we've said it on the show. We have heard the Ozzyland album, Dan and I. We've heard it. So we're familiar.
Yeah,
where is it? Where is it? Yeah. Can you send it to me? I would love to hear it.
Unfortunately,
I'll be able to tell it to me. What's that?
Unfortunately, we don't have anything to see, but we've heard them. And
okay.
We've always been like, man, when Zach got a hold of this, it would go to a whole nother level because that is the one thing missing is a heavy element. They're heavy-ish, some of them, but...
Yeah. Well, like when Joe came into play, when Joe was playing it on the tour and stuff, the biggest thing was the sound, because he would play strats, and Zach was a 14-pound Les Paul with 10, with freaking 6 strings or whatever, with the 8s or 10s or whatever size they are, just like the cables.
It's like a bass string.
Yes. So for that, it was the sound that was so unrecognizable for me. Joe was a good player. He was great. Big shoes to fill. Was Zachy. But he did what he could do, man. Yeah, he actually pulled it off, which is,
Very
I
technical.
wouldn't want that gig. You know what I mean?
Mm-mm.
So,
I've been playing for 30 plus years. I'd shit my pants playing that gig. No way.
Yeah, you got Randy, Jake, Zach. I'd be like,
oh.
Oh my
ugh.
god, that guitar trio
But
was
you know,
amazing.
think of that, all the guitarists that man has played with.
Yeah,
And to me, it was Randy and Zach were my favorites. Randy
me
Rhodes
too.
and Zach,
And I love Jake, dude.
I
Barbecue
love
is one of
Jake
my
too.
favorite
Jake's
records.
awesome.
Yeah,
Jake was great, but I never got in. I was starting to get into really heavy stuff like Metallica and Slayer.
too.
And so
Yeah.
Ozzy kind of went off to the wayside.
yeah. And he didn't get. I was the same way. I just kept Ozzy in the
Yeah.
rotation. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know another one was Rasputin. I believe was also recorded for Osmosis.
Yep,
Yeah,
that was me on that one too. I know that too. I remember Rasputin.
Yeah.
Zach would make fun of that song all the time. He would,
Who did?
Zach.
lyrics.
He would, Rasputin looking really cute. And
Yeah.
I mean, just Zach dancing around the studio singing that shit. It was so funny, man.
Yeah, that's
So funny.
awesome.
I love him.
But then he wrote a whole opera about it that never, a whole. Ozzy wrote a whole play and opera about it, and it never got released.
See, another thing, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a bummer, man. That's why I wanted to. I would have loved to make amends because there could have been cool things that I could have, like, Ozzy, I want to see this, I want to hear this, whatever. I never got to be able to contact him after that. After my firing, it was just.
Dean, if you reach out to Sharon, I bet now you can make amends that way. And I'll be honest, they're going to re-release that stuff. Maybe you could get your hands in there and re-record some stuff.
I would do anything for him for nothing. I would pay them. You know what I'm saying? I would pay them to play. I owe them that anyway, man. I mean, I owe Ozzy my respect, and Sharon definitely deep respect, man. I mean, she's ruthless to the right people, and that's good. You know what I mean? She had to be, man, to protect her man. I don't blame her, and not only protect the business, but to protect her man and her family. She's a god, man. Yes,
But
God.
also, very few women can do what she does, like in a manager's, type setting. Like it's
In a men's world.
very overpopulated with dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
men's
and
world,
she
for
don't
sure.
play. You guys know that.
Yeah.
She don't play, man.
Yeah.
It's her way or no way, and I love that.
That's so cool. So I don't have any other questions. Josh, do you have anything else?
Yeah, dude. I got shit. So
All right.
Bring it, dude. I got nothing
clearly,
going.
I'm gonna move on. So one thing real quick I do want to tell you, Dean. I mentioned the Chili 1995 show. Growing up, what I was getting to when I brought that up earlier is how much I enjoyed that gig. And I promise you, I don't just say this because you're on the show with us right now. It was you. I was 15 years old, just starting to play guitar myself. I was enjoying Joe for sure. I'm a Randy Rhodes guy. You can see that connection there. That was great.
Yes, sir.
But I remember watching you drum, and you would headbang while you were drumming. And I loved that. I thought that was the coolest shit. And then I'm like, that motherfucker's singing too. You were singing every word of those songs out loud,
Oh, yeah,
singing
dude,
while you were drumming,
I
and
was-
headbanging. And it was so fun
It
to
means a
watch.
lot to me, man.
Yeah.
Thank you, bro. I mean, I remember those shows. Those were the last shows I ever did with them. I mean, it was, you can tell that the tension was coming. I think one of the biggest reasons I didn't work with Ozzy live is because I was so damned hyper. I just went fucking bonkers on that shit. All those songs. I don't know. I was just on
You
fire.
put your stamp on them, but I can tell you, I enjoyed it.
I love it, man.
Oh, thank you, man. I mean, I just was having fun, but I remember Ozzy was, disappointed. And I know Joe and him would talk about it back and forth. It's like, Joe would come and he'd go, dude, why don't you just not play any licks at all? Just play it. Can't you just be like, that's old school. That's passe. I'm like, well, dude, this is who I am. This is how I played all my life. I mean, and I did. I would back off of it after a while, but at that time, the writing was on the wall. I knew in my gut I was getting canned. I just knew.
I
it,
remember specifically like Children of the Grave. You would add like a double bass. No, I won't say a double bass. Like to the rhythm of
Yeah.
Children of the Grave, and it was fucking phenomenal.
Oh, that. Yeah, I was kind of going nuts. I was more like the Tommy Aldrich on drums, bro. I was more Tommy Aldrich's vibe than Randy's. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
So
Tommy Aldridge is, what a guy to emulate. Jesus.
amazing. I mean, that's where I learned how to play metal drumming was listening to Tommy Aldrich, man. I mean, and the
sure.
Ozzy Specters. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I love his double kick work because it's
Oh,
so
yeah.
faithful. It's so great.
And he's
And he's perfect.
he's timeless too. Like that cat hasn't aged any, right? He still looks the
I
same.
just sent him a picture. I was like, holy shit, it looks like it's
Dude.
1982.
And he still drums.
Still amazing,
He still
too.
drums the same. Yeah, he can play all that shit.
He hasn't changed a bit, dude. He's still the monster player. He's got all the energy in the world, and he's the funniest guy I've ever known in my life. The humor is out the window, man. I mean, he's hilarious. Seriously hilarious. Hell yeah.
You know, they really fucked up by letting you go in many ways because you would have been amazing as a background singer for Ozzy in a live situation, and they should have let you have a mic because they had to bring that dude in to sing off stage after you
Warren
left
Mason.
to do some of the backing vocals.
Robert Mason.
Which Ozzy caught a lot of flack on. It was Ozzy was singing, of course. That guy was just helping fill out the sound and singing background. But you have such a great voice, Dean. It would have been just magical to have you on stage singing with him. And I don't know why you didn't think of that.
Well, I think a lot of it had to do with the way I was playing. I mean, my head was, I was just all over the place. Any mic's going to go flying, Like, now it's turning, you know what I mean? And I had a beard, too. So think of the mic flying off and the hair going right against the beard like Velcro. And I couldn't see. I looked like a ghost, I would have done anything for Oz and Sharon. I would have. Looking back, being sober now and seeing the part that I played in the reason I got shit canned, it's like, I could have done things different, much different. And, and with age comes, wisdom, humility. And again, I would have taken bullets for those guys. I would have. That's who I was. That's Kyle's the same way, man. He'll take a bullet for anybody that gets behind him or takes care of him or helps him out. He's a bullet guy.
Absolutely, it's an Italian thing.
It
I
is.
can't wait to hear your music, Kyle. Honestly, man. We'll talk after the show.
Oh, absolutely. I'd love to send you guys some stuff. That'd be fun.
What style of music is it?
It's metal. I mean, I don't know. I've toyed around with industrial style stuff. There was a while where I was writing just softer rock stuff, like Oasis types, 90s, a little more alternative. I just play around with whatever feels right. As far as what I'm listening to that week, that's kind of inspirational.
The one that I like, Kyle, right? The one that I like. Send him that one with the keyboards. That one I love. I love.
Oh yeah.
That's my favorite one ever.
Got an old Devin Townsend type feel. That was fun.
Like Strapping Young Lad.
Yes.
Mainly his solo stuff. It's not as extreme, but definitely the lower tuning. There's some choirs going on in the background, keyboard stuff.
Oh, dude, I got to hear that.
That's for sure, man.
Definitely. Awesome.
I'm actually going to see Oasis in 2 weeks in California. I can't.
No
believe
shit.
Yeah, we're flying in with my son.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm sure tickets are gone, right? They got to be gone, right?
Yeah, they're gone. Yeah,
I was trying to get them for Kyle in Europe. We were going to go to London and try. You couldn't get those. No freaking way. Even with the connections around, you could not get them.
I'm saying, I'm like the drummer from Journey can't get tickets to go see Oasis. Shit.
Nope. You got to pay like everybody else.
They're playing the Rose Bowl and it's sold out. I'm shocked. It's
really
huge. Yeah.
Oh man,
it's gonna be awesome. Cool. We're flying in. I'm in Phoenix. So we're going to fly in Saturday morning, see the show, and fly home Sunday. I can't wait.
That's cool. Yeah. Dude, that's awesome. You got to let me know how it goes.
I will for sure. It is opening NFL day, too, so I have to, we're diehard Giants fans here in this house because I'm from New York. And I have to shut off all my phones and everything because my pop will come over and we'll watch the game together after.
Sure.
Nice.
But I'm excited.
That's awesome, man.
I try to do the same shit, man. Anything from Beatles, Oasis to I don't get super heavy. I can't tune below C sharp. That's blue moon. I'll go to C. But that drop A shit, I just can't.
Well, no, I don't do when it's an 8 string and it's the size of a fucking skateboard. I can't.
But then you look at it for a drummer's perspective. Kyle's got wicked lightning fast feet. Joey Jordison fast feet. I can't play that way anymore, man. I look down at my left leg and hit it why aren't you working anymore? I've been playing Don't Stop Believing for 27 years. That could be why.
I was gonna tell you, Dad. Josh actually sent me a picture. He was listening to Black Science today.
Oh, great record, dude.
That is a great.
That's what I was gonna.
My favorite.
That was what I was gonna bring up actually before I let Dean go. Was clearly there was a connection with Geezer that he kept you around for his solo records.
We'll have to talk on another time, bro. I will definitely. I'll tell you stories about that record. That entire record was the most. For me, it was probably my pinnacle as a metal drummer. That one was I hit the wall running. I mean, it was that's the best I could have done from that time. Honestly, it was
I got to tell you, Man in the Suitcase is one of the best fucking drum songs I've ever heard in my life.
Kyle, what did I say to you earlier? I said he had to have a blast recording this shit. Is that not what I said to you earlier?
Oh yeah,
this is fun drumming.
Okay, let me give you one story. We finished. What's that? Somebody save me from. Yeah. Okay, we get done with that song. It's fastest one on there, and we come in, and Geezer's sitting there with his hands over his mouth, and he's just sitting there, and they play the song, And we're all listening to it, and we're freaking out. Me, Pedro, Burton, we're like, man, listen to this. And Geezer still got his hand over his mouth. We're like, oh, shit. Okay, so it stops. And I go, you like it? And he takes his hands off. He's got a smile. He goes, it's fucking brilliant. He had this big smile on his face, but he wouldn't let us see. I think he was so proud that he could do something on his own. And dude, those two records were brutal.
They
Oh,
are
just
awesome.
greatest records, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun stuff. So there you go. That's the last story I got.
Thank you so much,
You know,
Dean.
I'll do an interview when it's time, man. Anytime, you guys. Really. Anytime.
Thank you so
Absolutely.
much, Dean. We can't tell you how much
For
we
sure.
appreciate it. And
Oh,
Kyle,
dude.
it's
Well,
great to
Dude,
put
of course.
a face to
Love the show, man.
the text.
This is
Thank
so
you
fucking good.
We got to get Kyle on.
And I got to say to you, Kyle. Kyle, thank you for introducing me to these gentlemen. You guys are good men. You guys are the real deal.
Absolutely.
I'll do any interview you want, any time of day, whenever.
Awesome.
Okay? You have my word.
Thank you,
Thank
Dean.
you so
Thank you
much.
so much. And Kyle,
course, guys.
we need you on for one of our countdowns sometime, one of our battles or something like
I
that.
would love
for sure.
that, man. That would be a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would
sure.
be awesome. For sure.
sure.
Yeah,
So-
that's a great one.
That'd be so much fun. Thank you,
All right,
guys.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Dean, be careful out there.
Will
Congratulations.
do. Check out my
on
view.
the
Come
trial.
on. This can't be so bad, right?
No, dude, it's fucking
So
beautiful.
jealous. So jealous.
Oh,
Me
dude.
too,
Look,
man.
this is Oregon. Usually it's freezing cold and snowing and raining, man. This is really rare at the coast.
Gorgeous.
So
Yeah.
we're digging it in.
It's awesome.
All right. I love you
All right.
guys.
Love
God
you
bless
too,
you
man.
guys.
All right, guys.
Take
Take
Take care,
dudes.
guys. Thanks.
Goodbye.
Thanks for coming.
No, thank you for coming.
Done.
Dan, do you
Yeah.
watch Baby Billy back there? Do you know who that is? The fifth member
I
joining us
don't.
today. That's
Baby Billy,
the
Papa
Righteous
Bunker.
Gemstones.
Of course, Baby Billy.
Baby
It's
Billy.
like, that's the great Righteous Gemstones. Yeah.
You gotta try
Walton Goggins is
Baby
my
Billy's
guy,
Papa
dude.
Bunker.
Oh, dude, he's the best.
Yeah.
Greatest
Like a
show
horror
ever.
movie. I was like, wait a minute, I don't know, a Baby Billy killer, but yeah. Righteous Gemstones is incredible, man.
Well, his
Oh,
girlfriend
so
did
awesome.
shoot a guy, so yeah.